It all comes down to what is in the back. Oh, I should have earthquaked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of our Road to Master Ball Rank. My name is CBAD, and I'm excited to be bringing you guys another step in hopefully the right direction. We've been doing so well on these road battles. If you guys have missed it out, check out the playlist in the description. You guys can stay up to date with the road, and you guys know what's going on. If you guys are new, feel free to subscribe for some more VGC Sword and Shield content. Of course, if you guys are excited, feel free to leave a like on the video. We're going to be hopping back on the double battle ranked ladder here. We do have our team from the last episode, which features the Choice Scarf Tyranitar, Focus Sash, Excadrill, Psychic Seed, Corviknight, the Culpa Berry and Indeedee, Citrus Berry, Rotom Leaf, and the Life Orb Physical or Life Orb Mix Dragapult. So we're going to see what we can do this time around. I'm going to try to get the right start off. We always got to start off with the Rose Mix. That's going to be best. Between the last episode and this one, I haven't had a chance to go through the comment section. Hopefully somebody left some information here as far as the speed tiers goes, what I was missing out on. I wasn't able to find anything. I don't know if I might have just caught, you grab some hand sanitizer out of the bathroom, because I may have just caught a bad case of the dumb last episode and missed something completely. Late at night during this recording session, but we're still gonna be trucking on, keeping on. We are currently 11-4. We've still got a pretty good record. We're currently averaging like 3 wins for every loss right now. A little bit around there, a little bit. I might be exaggerating that a little bit, but trainer has been found. We're going up against Wrath, who is also ranked 6. My opponent has a Gyarados. Okay, so I lost. Dynamax Gyarados is so crazy with Moxie. So I do want to keep my... I don't even know what to keep around for that. Rotom? Probably got to keep around Rotom of some sort. My opponent's got their own Rotom Heat. They do have their own Sand Core with Gastrodon. They've got a really sand-based team, so... My opponent does want to lead Sand. I do like leading my Corviknight and my Excadrill of my own, banking on my opponent's Sand. I think Rotom Leaf is a definite bring. And then I think... what pokes holes the most? I think Life Orb Dragapult's my last mon that I have to bring. Those are going to be the 6 that I bring. And of course, as soon as I go to start recording, my renders get done, which is really unfortunate because I was waiting in between for renders to get done. They did not work. So I may say I'm going to probably take a break in between episodes here really quickly, but we're going to cut. I could have plugged everything in now. We're going to end up having to do this another time here. Wrath's card looks really hard, actually. I'm not going to lie. That's really intimidating. I'm scared. I'm scared enough. But not scared enough to use code CBAD on G Fuel. I'm not scared not enough. We let off with a horrible lead up. I saw those two come out and I was shook. I don't remember what I was trying to say. Horrible lead matchup. We do get the Mirrored Armor Intimidate bag, which is cool. So we do get to intimidate the Gyarados there a little bit. I'm not a fan of this turn of events. Boy, why did I think Rotom Wash in my head? I'm gonna shoot my shot right out the gate. Okay, so I'm gonna max Airstream into the Gyarados, and I'm gonna protect with Excadrill. I feel like Excadrill, if my opponent has Sand in the back, or if they anticipate me to have Tyranitar in the back, they may consider that more of a threat than the Corviknight right now. But I will start out the game with my big bulky bird. Corviknight is best bird for a reason. I would love to show it off in League format someday, but plenty other G-Max mons that I definitely think I could go for beforehand. But Corviknight as itself is a pretty solid Pokemon here. My opponent's definitely going to take their time and see what they want to go for. In my opinion, if I were my opponent, the Excadrill is the bigger threat. I Dynamax first. Corviknight is not that fast, which leads me to believe my opponent did not Dynamax in any way, shape, or form. So what they may do is they may have gone from Gyarados into Excadrill and Rotom into the Corviknight. They are going for maybe something like a Volt Switch. If they do anticipate that, but they could also expect a Rock Slide here. But I am going to protect with my Excadrill just to see what they want to go for. The Gyarados goes for Protect, so we're going to be able to still get some chip damage off through the Max Airstream. And the Rotom goes for Trick. And the Rotom attempted to trick my Excadrill. So, that's not the worst. That's not the worst turn events. We actually crit the Gyarados through the Protect, and we are able to get the speed boost here. So, my next question is, what do I want to lock myself into? Because I'm going to Max Airstream the Gyarados again. It doesn't take into consideration the effects. I think Brick Break is probably my best bet to lock myself into. And I will go for a Brick Break into the Rotom here. My opponent withdraws the Gyarados, and my opponent actually goes out into their own Excadrill here. So we're going to be able to break any sort of sash on there. We do get the Brick Break off into the Rotom, doing about 25%. My Rotom does go for Trick. It does trick my Corviknight, the Choice Scarf, and Rotom obtains the Psychic Seed. We're going to get the Max Airstream off. That's not beneficial to my opponent in any way, because if he does go for some sort of sand-based move, we are in a pretty good position here now with Excadrill to be much faster than it. So he could have certainly attempted some form of a... He certainly could have attempted some form of an attack. Still think the Rotom's a little bit more dangerous than anything else on the field, so I'm going to double into those. I'm going to double into Rotom. If he... Our Excadrill is now +2, so even if he does somehow set up the Sand, not only does our Sand Rush kick in, but our Sand Rush makes us faster than any other Sand Rush Pokemon. And our Focus Sash is still intact. I still think the Rotom does have a little bit of an undervalued presence on my opponent's side of the field that I don't think he's taking full advantage of here. The Excadrill, or the Corviknight, just keeps tossing off Max Airstreams. And the Excadrill goes for Protect, which is actually really what I wanted. So we're going to get another Brick Break off into the Rotom here. We're going to bring it down to a little above half, and then we do get the Max Airstream off into the Rotom. So in my opinion, we're still making like pretty good plays. I don't my opponent still does, of course, have the ability to go out into his Gyarados here, and he does go for the Volt Switch here. He does go for the Volt Switch. I would assume the Gyarados comes out now. Tyranitar actually comes out. Okay. So Tyranitar does get up the Sand. I'm much faster than either of my opponent's Pokemon, and unfortunately, our Corviknight is no longer Dynamax. So I have the option here. I'm going to go for an Iron Head into Tyranitar, and I'm going to go for a Brick Break into Excadrill, because Excadrill just went for Protect. The Sand is up. He could take this as an opportunity to Dynamax the Excadrill, which would put me at an unfortunate advantage. However, we're still going to be able to get some pretty big damage off. We're +3 because of our Max Windstream boosts, or Max Airstream boosts, or Max Fly boosts. Him being able to protect a Scout is going to be his advantage here. And he does choose to Dynamax, who I anticipate to be the Excadrill. And it is the Excadrill. Okay. So that's fine. And Tyranitar goes for Protect. Okay, so we're not in the world's worst position. Because he set up the Sand for us, we are going to be able to get two really big hits off here. We go for the Iron Head and the Tyranitar. He protects. So what I do want to do here is, because I don't believe the Excadrill is going to be able to knock out either of my Pokemon here, Max Quake goes off, and that brings me down to my Sash. So what I want to do here is, because I've seen enough weakness policy Tyranitar, I think what I want to go for is an Earthquake with the Excadrill, and I think I want to go for another Iron Head into the Tyranitar slot here. I think that is going to be my best play here. My opponent could withdraw Tyranitar now that he has the stand up and go out into something like Gyarados and perhaps max guard with Excadrill, but I still think this leaves us in a pretty good position here. Because the other pairing that he has, we did get damage off on the Gyarados out the gate. My opponent does withdraw the Tyranitar here and goes back out into the Rotom, actually. So we do get some Iron Head damage off onto the Rotom. We are able to go for the Earthquake into the Excadrill here. If it is not... We already broke the stash, so Excadrill's gone. So my opponent's Dynamax Pokemon is gone. That's fine. We're still an insanely fast Excadrill and an insanely fast Corviknight. And the Iron Head goes off into the Rotom slot. We are unfortunately unable to pick up the KO. However, the Sandstorm damage does finish off the Rotom. So my opponent has Tyranitar and Gyarados left. So I do have the ability to go for some big damage. My opponent has not yet gone, or my opponent has already wasted the Dynamax. So unfortunately, Gyarados is not going to be able to do too much to us. The Mirror Armor is going to be able to reflect the Intimidate back onto the Gyarados, which is very nice. Unfortunately, my Excadrill does now get... I forgot my Excadrill was fighting at -1, now -2. So what I do want to do here... for some reason, my gut is telling me that Tyranitar is weakness policy. And I'm going to double into the Gyarados. And we are going to be able to get a little bit of damage off on there. And we're going to go for an Iron Head here into the Gyarados as well. We're going to double into that. We do get the flinch off on the Gyarados as my opponent goes for the Rock Slide. It does connect into both of my Pokemon here. So unfortunately, Excadrill is going to go down. Our Corviknight is still doing really, really fast, but Excadrill really did put in a ton of work in this first game. Now, I will go on to my Rotom, and here's why I want to do that. Here's why I want to do that. I want to double into this Tyranitar and hopefully knock it out. There's the weakness policy. Gyarados goes for Surf. It's going to be a resisted hit on the Rotom, and it is not going to pick up the KO on Corviknight either. And it does actually also hit my opponent's Tyranitar, so we're able to connect the Leaf Storm. I don't know if Surf was in an attempt to trigger my opponent's weakness policy, but we're able to pick up the KO on the Tyranitar here. It is just a Life Orb Gyarados left on the field, and we are going to be able to pick up the first win of the episode here, which I'm really okay with. The battle is canceled, so we pick up the first victory. I don't know if we could have played that better or worse, but I feel like we played that pretty well. If you guys just heard a window connect, I had to connect the external hard drive. I'm going to take a quick pause, and we will be right back with another battle. All right, we are back, and because we finished the last episode off on a win, and we won this one on a win, we did progress into the Great Ball tier, which is awesome. We get some battle points as well. Everything's good when you go with the Chairman Rose music, man. I'm going to keep it going. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sorry for the break. I had to start uploading a video. I'm trying to make sure. We're about 40 days in of consistent uploads here on this channel, which I am super happy about. I've been trying to tweak the editing, I'm trying to tweak the thumbnails, see which you guys like best. And I think it's been working. So we do find another rank 7 opponent here. My opponent does have the Whimsicott Arcanine, which can beat up into the Arcanine. My opponent does also have Braviary, Tyranitar. My opponent's got... I feel like I've seen this team a lot, and I think what I want to do here... is lead Tyranitar Excadrill. And then in the back, I think Rotom looks good. I think Dragapult looks good. So we're going to take up, I think, is that the same 4 as last time? We're going to take the same 4 as last time. If my opponent does lead off Whimsicott, Arcanine, we certainly do need to make it a habit. Of course, we do need to make it a fact to go into the Arcanine. And I think what we might do in order to do that is to lead off with, we're leading off with Scarf Tyranitar, and I think what we might do is Dynamax our Excadrill. My opponent leads off with the Whimsicott Arcanine. And we're going to lead off with our Sand Core here. So what the play is, what my play is here is to set up the sand. We're going to be able to go for a Dynamax with our Excadrill and go for a Max Rockfall into the Arcanine. I'm going to go for a Rock Slide here into both. I'm going to, actually, I forgot I don't have that. So I will go for a Max Quake into my opponent's Arcanine here. We're going to see exactly what wants to happen. I don't. The justified combination is pretty common. If you guys didn't see the last episode, what ended up happening was that my opponent led Whimsicott Lucario, and they actually went for a switcheroo eject button into Bullet Punch Lucario, which switched out one of my Pokemon. So that did, or was that the last episode? That was episode 4, I believe, on the road. So very interesting play. I did see it popularized by Wolf Blick. So we're gonna see what my opponent wants to go for here. My opponent does Dynamax the Arcanine. So, still going to get some big boy damage off. Provided we connect the Rock Slide. Asterisk, provided we connect the Rock Slide. We're going to get some big boy damage off. So, 10% chance to get some not get some big boy damage off. I go for the Max Quake because of my Sand Rush. It is going to be faster. I do target into the Arcanine. It is going to, if I hit this Rock Slide, please. Please, Tyranitar, do you love me? Tyranitar, do you love me? My Tyranitar loves somebody. My Tyranitar loves me! Oh, I love it. All right, perfect. All right, we got some big boy damage off. Who are you going to click beat up on now, bud? Yeah, beat up comes off. And because you targeted your opponent, or you targeted your Arcanine, it's not going to work. Oh, I love it when things playing out like that. And we've got a special defense boost in the sand. Tyranitar is a tank right now. Tyranitar is an absolute monster right now. He wasted the Dynamax. The Pokemon that I did not want to see comes out. We are going to actually... I'm going to double in. I'm going to prioritize the Dracovish here. I see Whimsicott is more of a supportive set. My opponent goes for Tailwind right here. That's fine. That means that the Dracovish is going to be able to get a big hit off into something, and it is my Tyranitar. The Fishious Rend comes off. Does knock out my Tyranitar. So that's okay. In a sense, our sand is still up. Our sand is still up. And we do get a big hit off into the Dracovish here, which is good. We are going to get a little bit of Sandstorm damage off on both of those. We do see that is Scarf Dracovish behind a Tailwind, considering Sand hit it first. So if that's Scarf Dracovish, here's what I want to do. That's Scarf Dracovish. Here's what I'm going to do. That's Scarf Dracovish. I'm going to max guard with Excadrill. I want to keep Excadrill around. Excadrill's still looking really good. My opponent already burned Dynamax. I'm going to Leaf Storm the Dracovish, and I'm going to max guard my Excadrill. Because I do not want to be brought down to my Sash. I think that's going to be the best way to play that out. Vicious Rend goes off. It goes into the Excadrill, so we made that call right. The Moonblast does come off. The Moonblast, they've doubled into the Dynamax Excadrill, which is really unfortunate. And I am going to be able to get a Leaf Storm off here into the Dracovish, and we're going to be able to put down the Dracovish. So, we're learning! We're learning how to do things! I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be learning things. So, they are going to take a little bit more sand damage. That's fine. I do get a really slow Volt Switch off here with Rotom if I choose to, but we're going to see what my opponent decides to bring in. Because I can still get a Helping Hand, Iron Hand boost off into the Whimsicott. My opponent has their own Excadrill. So, I like Helping Hand Earthquake quite a bit. In fact, no. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Leaf Storm Excadrill, and I'm going to Earthquake. Because if there is anything I know, it's that my opponent probably is Focus Sash Excadrill. If I've seen enough of these things on the ladder, my opponent has Focus Sash Excadrill, and I want to prioritize that. So, that being said, my Sash is still intact with Excadrill because of how we played. My Sash is still intact. He can double into Excadrill, but I can get a Leaf Storm off into his to get some big damage. And I believe Tailwind and Sand are ending soon, which resets the speed tiers. My opponent gets the high horsepower off into me. That is fine. I am going to hang on by my Focus Sash. My opponent goes for, and he's actually Life Orb Excadrill. My opponent goes for the Moonblast into my Excadrill as well. He doubles off. That's fine. So I feel we made the right play by going for the Leaf Storm into the Rotom. Because even at -2, any damage is going to help. Whimsicott is still going to take some sand damage, as do we. And we will be able to go onto our Dragapult here. And what I want to do with Dragapult is I do want to click Protect, because if we still do have another turn of Sand or Tailwind, which I think we might. I think we have one last turn. We have one last turn of that and one okay. So, I am going to Leaf Storm into Excadrill one more time, and I'm going to Protect with my Dragapult. Because if I am my opponent, the Dragapult is much more of a threat than the -4 Rotom. High horsepower comes off. He attacked my Rotom. I'm not sure why. The Moonblast comes off, and great. So we played that perfectly. In my opinion, we played that perfectly. We get another Leaf Storm off into the Excadrill. That's going to be some big damage there. We're currently -6. -6 should be able to pick up the... -6 should still be able to pick up the KO on the Excadrill. The Tailwind peters out. Sand goes away. The speed tiers are returned. So I will go for one more Leaf Storm here into this. And what I do want to do, actually, is I would like to go for Phantom Force. Let's think about this. I will go for Phantom Force into the Whimsicott, as the Whimsicott sets up a Tailwind one more time. My opponent is able to go for the Iron Head into my Dragapult. That is going to not take us out. He does get the flinch, unfortunately. We do get the Leaf Storm off into the Excadrill. Oh, I think we need... What do we need here? It's Whimsicott versus a... that flinch was huge. The flinch was huge. I will go for a Leaf Storm into there. And I have to Protect with my Dragapult, I think is the play. My opponent Moonblasted into Dragapult. I will go for a Leaf Storm here. The crit Leaf Storm could do some big damage. You do not get, unfortunately. I have to go for Volt Switch on you. Do I go for a double Protect here? I'll try to go for a double Protect. We do not get the double Protect. My opponent goes for the Moonblast. Moonblast is going to go into my Dragapult. Oh, I thought we were doing well, man. I think that the flinch was huge, man. Flinch was huge, but that's okay. That's okay, because that is the game. That is the game we play. Unfortunately, that is all she wrote there. So I mean, I can still crit this thing. We still have our berry intact. I mean, we can still crit Volt Switch. The Moonblast comes off. Moonblast is going to put us in berry range, so we're still in it. We're still in it. We can still crit Volt Switch into Volt Switch, so I won't write it off yet, but I think my opponent does have this in the bag. I think my opponent does have this in the bag. Like I said, unless there's Unless there's back-to-back crit volt switch here, I don't think we are bringing it home. My opponent played really well. My opponent played for how they needed to here. Crit volt switch? No. No, the Whimsicott was big. We should have prioritized the Whimsicott at an earlier point in the game. Maybe that would have... I think I'm gonna put it on that 30% chance to flinch. You can always identify where in a game I feel like the tables might have turned. I think that was where that was. I think we played really well that second match, but unfortunately that 30% chance. And it just goes to show you that, you know, I said it, I believe it was the last episode where we played the first game, and I said we can always play really poorly and still bring it back, and we can always end up having some sort of a, we can play out of our minds like we did this game, and all of a sudden a 30% chance does us in. So let's change off the Rose music. It's Lots of Mojo. We're gonna go for the Eternatus 3 here. We're currently 12-5, hoping to end the episode today on 13-5 in the Great Ball tier. We're gonna see exactly, we're leaning towards the track record of every 2-1, and I don't like that. I don't like that, but we're gonna try our best to continue onward with that trend. It's not the worst trend, it's not the best trend, but I'd rather be up 2 down 1 than up 1 down 2, you know what I'm saying? So my opposing trainer has been found. Let's see what they got. I'm just selecting Tyranitar there. So my opponent has, there's a few Pokemon that I have not seen brought yet. The first Pokemon that I have not seen yet at all is the Passimian. So I do like my Sand Lead. I do like my Sand Lead. Oddly enough, I do like my Indeedee here. And Rotom. All right, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. I think Sand Lead with Indeedee and Rotom in the back is going to be our play here. I like the Sand Lead. It gives us a Brick Break. That if the Grimmsnarl is screens, it does give us... I love my opponent's trainer card. Oh my gosh. We do get the ability to go for a Brick Break if my opponent does bring screens Grimmsnarl, which is certainly a possibility. And my opponent does lead Grimmsnarl Passimian. So definitely a situation that I thought we'd be in. So here's what I want to do. I truthfully would like to switch out my Tyranitar for my Indeedee. And I am going to go for a Brick Break. First, I'm going to go for an Iron. I'm just going to go for a Brick Break into Grimmsnarl. So I think if anything, Passimian will go for a fighting or bug type move into the Indeedee slot. And I think my opponent would set up some sort of a screen such as that Reflect. So he does get the Reflect up. We're going to be able to go for a Brick Break through it, which is fine. Like I said, I anticipate a fighting type move or a bug type move to come out from my opponent's Passimian right there. And that does big damage. It is a neutral hit. And he does get the defense drop on the Passimian. Passimian is the fastest thing on the field, followed by my Indeedee, followed by the Grimmsnarl. So what I could do here... what could I do here, actually? So I'm going to go for a Helping Hand boost, and I'm going to actually Dynamax my Excadrill and go for a Max Steel Spike into the Passimian slot. Because I think with me revealing that I have Brick Break, I think that puts Grimmsnarl on the offensive if he has the capability to do so. If he has like Spirit Break, or if he has the False Surrender, I think that would be my opponent's MO right now, considering I already predicted the screens turn 1. He could also just go for a second screen here to kind of just attempt to get them up again. He does not, so we do get the Max Steel Spike off into the into the Passimian, and we are able to knock that out. That was a really big threat in my opinion, because it did provide a lot of it did provide some pretty solid opportunities for my opponent to be able to attack me with dark type stab, with other moves such as U-turn, close combat. He does go for the foul play into my Indeedee. With the defense boost and the Colbur Bear, we are actually able to eat that. So my opponent may choose to go for a screen here because I have Dynamaxed. That does still give me the opportunity to go for a Helping Hand Steel move into the Grimmsnarl, depending on what my opponent brings out in the second slot. And my opponent does bring out the Togekiss. So I do like going for another Helping Hand into my Excadrill. And while I'm not a fan of screens, I'm less of a fan of Togekiss. So I will go for the Max Steel Spike into the Togekiss slot. We do get the Helping Hand off into our Excadrill. My opponent doesn't Dynamax with either of his Pokemon. He does go for the Protect with the Togekiss, but we are still going to get a big hit off into it. And my opponent does go for the Reflect here, like I thought. So now that we've Dynamaxed, he is going to choose to make that play, which is fine. We do still get a Helping Hand boosted Max Steel Spike off into the Togekiss slot through the Protect and the Reflect, which is doing huge damage. We do get another defense raise on both of our Pokemon here. We do see that the Togekiss does have the weakness policy, which is really interesting. We are currently faster than the Togekiss with the Indeedee here. So what that does make me want to do is that does make me want to go for a Psychic into the Togekiss, and I will go for a Max Steel Spike into the Togekiss, because if there's anything that I've learned, it's that when weakness policy goes off, you say, that's the one right there, officer, and we're going to go for it. So we're going to try our best to be able to pull this off. I think it'll work out okay. It might not. I don't know, but I think it'll work out okay. Because we are faster. The reason I know we're faster is because Sand hit us first. Unless Sand hits in a priority basis. He does choose to Dynamax here. Does he choose to Dynamax? Do they choose to Dynamax the Togekiss? I would anticipate a +2 Togekiss. You are going to Dynamax. They do Dynamax the +2 Togekiss. So we made a good play in doubling into that slot. Because I don't know if Protect into Max Guard works the same way as Double Protect. But we are still going to try our darndest to do for it. Protect and a Max Guard right there. Okay. Okay, we learned. We learned right there, ladies and gentlemen. Foul play does come off. Foul play does go into the Indeedee slot, and he knocks us out. So my Excadrill still has the Sand up. And Sand's gonna buff at both of them again. So, or my Excadrill still has the Sand up and the Sash. I'm gonna go on a Tyranitar here. And the reason I'm gonna go on a Tyranitar is because I can Rock Slide both of them. And I still have screens up. So what I want to do is I want to Rock Slide both of them. And I'm going to go for a Brick Break into the Grimmsnarl, because I'm going to try to break that screen prior to going for Rock Slide. Now, if my opponent protects with Grimmsnarl, that's definitely, that Togekiss is just looming at me. That's definitely, I think, a play my opponent could make. I do get the Brick Break off into the Grimmsnarl slots. We do break the Reflect. We're able to get a Rock Slide off. We do not pick up the KO on either Pokemon, unfortunately. My opponent goes for the Max Starfall into what I presume to be the Tyranitar slot, and is going to blow me backwards. And does get up the Misty Terrain. Okay. My opponent what? Foul play. We do get the flinch on the Grimmsnarl, though, which is nice. Unfortunately, the Sand is over, which is not what I wanted. However, we do have a Rotom here. And what I want to do is I want to Volt Switch on Togekiss, and I want to Brick Break the Grimmsnarl. Just in case he's like, I'm going to try to get a screen up. Just in case. If he's like, no, he's not going to do that. In case he thinks in case they think that I'm still going to target the... I think that's going to be the play, because I think Volt's... Togekiss is pretty bulky. I want to take out the Grimmsnarl, and I want to leave myself room to break down these screens. So I would go for the Volt Switch into the Togekiss in case my opponent goes for a Reflect of some sort or a Light Screen. I do get the Brick Break off into the Grimmsnarl, which is fine. We do knock it out. And I am able to get the Volt Switch off into the Togekiss. We're just so shy. And he's going to go... He goes for Max Flare instead of a Max Airstream. Max Flare goes off into Rotom. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. And he gets the Sun Up. So... it all comes down to what is in the back. Dynamax ends here for Togekiss. Okay. I don't know Duraludon's full moveset here. I'm gonna Iron Head the +2 Togekiss. Oh, I should have Earthquaked. Solar Beam? Okay. Can I eat one? Not at all. Oh, because you're Life Orb too. Can I try to get in their head really quickly? I'm gonna protect. And then I'm gonna go for Earthquake or something. I'm gonna try to stall out Sun Turns. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to get in their head really quickly and see what I can do here. Solar Beam from you. Solar Beam's not gonna pop. And what does Togekiss go for? Heat Wave. Togekiss can miss Heat Wave. Togekiss can miss Heat Wave. So I'm going to Earthquake here. Oh, no dice. No dice. Solar Beam's going to pick me off. We tried. I tried to bring it back. So we're keeping up a pattern of 2-1, unfortunately. My opponent had some pretty solid plays here with the Togekiss. I can't say I anticipated Weakness Policy Togekiss. I can't say I anticipated that. So my opponent does bring it home. They end up with a Togekiss on like 3 HP. If I would have thought for more than 4 seconds and clicked Earthquake first, maybe that would have put us in a better position, but that is going to be all she wrote there. We can bring that back down to the turn where if we would have remembered that and consider that, it would have been a little bit better. But we are, is that 1 and 2? I think it's our first 1 and 2 episode. Wow, that's unfortunate. That's a heartbreaker. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. The Great Ball tier is just that much more, that much more intensive. So thank you for watching. If you guys have enjoyed, feel free to leave a like on the video. Your guys' support is the world to me, seriously. And of course, if you guys are excited for some more VGC content, feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe if you're new. Feel free to check out the description below for the playlist if this is your first episode of the road. You want to start from the very beginning. All that being said, I want to remind you guys to be great and do great, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.